The essential question for right now is, how can we use the distance and midpoint to do stuff? Well, actually problem number one doesn't really have anything to do with that. So that's unfortunate, but I wanted to talk about it anyway. We've got these points, they form a triangle. We want to know which one of these statements is true. It's all about coordinates and seeing what we can figure out using coordinates. This unit is coordinate geometry. So, let's plot some things. I think I should make this graph a little bigger. What do you think? So, first point, n is 2, -4. Let's get that on the books here. Two, -4. So here is point N. Alrighty then. Then we have point B, 5, 3. So here we are at 5, 3. Alright, that's point B. And then last but not least, point C is 8, -4. So 8, -4 is right here. Alright, I can now see that this is going to be a little bit in the way. Oh man. Okay, I'm going to move this over here. Okay, once again, 8, -4, ladies and gentlemen. 8, -4 will be right here. And NB, so this will be C. Well, so we've got this triangle. Take a look at this triangle that we have here. This triangle goes like this, this. This is the triangle that we're looking at, people. Observe it, appreciate it. Here's the thing about it. Can you tell if this triangle is, is it equilateral? Is it isosceles? If so, which parts are the same? Can you tell any of that good stuff? Well, I say it's isosceles, and here's why I say that. Let's make this red. I always like to make it red for some reason. Oh, too much. Okay, that'll do. Alright, look at this triangle. Let's empty it out. See, here's the thing. Look at what I'm going to claim is the axis of symmetry. Okay, I believe that this line that I just drew is in fact the axis of symmetry. Okay, do you believe that? Are you willing to accept that? Here's why I'm calling it the axis of symmetry. Look right here at the middle. Look to the right, look to the left. Look how many squares it is to the right, how many squares it is to the left. See how it's 3 to the right and 3 to the left? That means this altitude is right down the middle of this triangle. So that means this is going to be an isosceles triangle. Okay, so because it's isosceles, that means I've got these two angles are congruent. This is what I mean. Let's see, let's go green, maybe. Make it a little bigger. So these would be the base angles of this isosceles triangle. So I mean, look, this is isosceles like this. So that means this angle and this angle are the same. Okay. so let's see what we've got. So we know that these two angles are equal. N and C are equal. So which of these statements, which statement is true? Only one of these statements is true, so we will stop when we find it. The measure of angle N is congruent to the measure of angle B. N and B. Nah. To me, angle B looks smaller than angle N, but yeah, I'd have to prove that. But anyway, they're not the same. N and C are the same, but not N and B. Okay, so no, it's not that. The measure of angle N is equal to the measure of angle C. What's that now? Measure of angle N, measure of angle C. Ding, ding, ding. Those are the base angles of this isosceles triangle. So those are the same. So kabam, that is the answer to the question, B. Okay, the rest of these are going to be false. Should we follow through and see why they're false? Why not? Measure of angle B equals the measure of angle C. Let's look back. B and C, again, that's a no. N and C are equal, N and B not so much. So we knew that wouldn't be true. The measure of angle N is greater than the measure of angle C. Well, N and C are the same, so one of them will not be greater than the other. So that's why that one is false. Okay, moving on. Problem number 2. Alright, Kayla and Chloe decide to meet at the point halfway between their two houses. What is such a point called? The halfway point. It is sometimes called the midpoint. Okay, good to know. It's good to know because please remember that the midpoint is going to be the average of things. So remember that if the midpoint is C, comma D, then we would find C by doing the average of the x's, x plus x divided by 2. And the D value, this D value, the y value, is going to be the average of the y values. So y plus y divided by 2. So what are the coordinates of the place they meet? We're just looking for the midpoint. Anyways, let's switch to blue. Kayla's house here is the point 6, comma 2. 6, comma 2. Chloe's house over here is the point -8, comma -8. Okay, I don't like it when I do that, but -8, comma -8. Okay, so the average of the x values will give me the x value of the midpoint. So that's going to be 6 plus -8 divided by 2. So let's do that. So this is going to be 6 plus -8 divided by 2. Alright, so that's going to make -2 divided by 2, which is -1. Okay, so the x value of the midpoint will be -1. Now looking at the y values, well, that's -8 plus 2 divided by 2. So that's going to be -8 plus 2 divided by 2. So that's going to be -6 divided by 2. So that's going to be -3. Okay, so the y value of the midpoint is -3. Put them together, so the halfway point, or midpoint, is going to be the point -1, comma -3. That is where they should meet. Now let's graph it, as long as we have a graph right here, and see if that would appear to be the right thing. -1, comma -3 would be like right here. And just eyeballing it, you know, it seems to be about the middle between those points. But yeah, that is how you do that. How could I sort of check it a little bit more precisely, you say, as long as we have a graph? Well, I'm glad you asked that. Let's look at the rise and run real quick. From the midpoint to Kayla's house, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's like up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's like up 5 over 7. Look at it going to Chloe's house. If it is down 5 and back 7, then we win. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. See the symmetry? Over 7, up 5, over 7, up 5. This must be in the middle. So that's just a way of checking your answer. All right, that is how you do number 2. Okay. What is the distance from point B to the midpoint of NC? Well, that is a two-part problem if I ever saw it. First, we need to figure out what is the midpoint of NC. Okay, so let's just focus on this for a minute. Let's find that, and then we'll find the distance from point B to it. So the midpoint of NC, you know, okay, so let's do these coordinates. So point N is the point -4, 7. So -4, 7. And point C is the point, you know, 10, -9. 10, -9. So those are the 2 points. So we talk about the midpoint of NC. Again, that's the average of the x's and the average of the y's. So if I call the midpoint, again, C, D, all right, maybe I'll wall this off. I will find C by doing x plus x divided by 2. So that's going to be -4 plus 10 divided by 2. And I will find D by doing y plus y divided by 2. So that's 7 plus -9 divided by 2. So C is going to equal 6 over 2. D is going to equal -2 over 2. So C is equal to 3, and D is equal to -1. Wait a minute. Was that the exact same thing I got last time? Okay, so it's 3, -1. Here I have -1, 3. Anyway, it's kind of similar, but whatever. So the midpoint of NC then is the point 3, -1. So that's the midpoint of NC. Okay, maybe I'll put that on my picture here in purple. So 3, -1. So here's the midpoint of NC. Okay, just to emphasize that it's the midpoint of NC, let's draw this line from N to C. Okay, I'll make it red, I think. Alright, so there's NC, and then there's my purple midpoint. So we are supposed to find, now looking back, what's the distance from point B to the midpoint of NC? Okay, so we're supposed to find the distance from point B to this midpoint. Yeah, let's not forget that this point is the point 3, -1. So we are supposed to find this distance right here from B to that midpoint. Okay, well, let's do that, my friends. Point B. Let's get some ordered pairs on that. Point B is 8, 6. So 8, comma 6 is point B. So we are looking for the distance from point B to this midpoint. So from 8, comma 6 to 3, comma negative 1. Okay, so we're doing distance now. So the distance is going to be the square root. Okay. Maybe I should do this. Let's move this down a bit. So, fine, just to be fair. The points that we're dealing with are 3, comma negative 1 and 8, comma 6. So 3, comma negative 1 to 8, comma 6. That's the distance we've been asked to find. So that's going to be x minus x squared. So that's 8 minus 3 squared plus, now y minus y squared. So that's going to be 6 plus 1, right? Minus and negative, you add. So we've got this. Well, here's about where I do my handy dandy calculator. You know, I'm a math teacher, so I could do this very easily by hand, but my kids, they make a lot of mistakes. So let's just go ahead and put it in the calculator and be on the safe side for right now. So square root of 8 minus 3, 6 plus 1. Okay, 8 minus 3 squared plus 6 plus 1 squared. Is that right? That is the square root of 74. So that is the distance from point B to the midpoint of NC. From point B being 8, comma 6 to the midpoint of NC, which was 3, comma negative 1. That is how you do that. Now look at number 4. Given these points, classify PDQ as scalene, isosceles, or equilateral. Show the calculations. Look, people, if we have some random triangle PDQ, so PD, that's a D, by the way, PDQ. This triangle has 3 sides to it. PD, DQ, oh, Dairy Queen, very nice, and PQ. Alright, so you know, I have I baby fed you by giving you charts for a long time, but you really don't need the charts. You can know that we have these 3 sides, and so we need to find these 3 lengths to see what's going on. And by now, hopefully you're comfortable with the distance formula. So if I'm going to do PD, then I'm using these 2 points right here. So I'm going to do my x minus x. I'll do 2 plus 2, okay, so I'm doing this one on the right minus negative 2 squared. Now I'm going to do y minus y, so 4 radical 3 minus 0 squared. Let's see, 2 plus 2, 4 radical 3 minus 0. Just quick double check. Yeah, so that is, we just typed that in. And we got 8. Bam. Just flat 8. What? Okay, so let's do it again. Now we're doing side DQ. So that's this. So that could be 6, x minus x. So 6 minus 2 squared plus. Now y minus y. So wait, what am I doing? DQ. All right, yeah, 6 minus 2. Now 0 minus 4 radical 3 squared. Oh, look at that. 8 again. Oh my gosh. It's another 8. So isosceles so far. If we get a third, we'll have equilateral. Let's see what happens. Now PQ. So look, please, keep straight what we're talking about. So now, don't look at D right now. Just look at P and Q. So I'm going to do the right one minus the left one this time. So that's going to be 6 minus -2. So I'm just going to go ahead and put 6 plus 2 squared. And, well, that's going to be 0 minus 0, those y values. Okay, so that's really... Okay, look, I'm not going to type all this in the calculator. You really could do this in your head, you know what I mean? Watch this. Alright, I just can't resist doing this by hand. 0, poof. That's kind of gone. So let's ignore that. So 6 plus 2, that's 8. That's just going to leave us with 8 squared. And we know that if you take the square root of something squared, those two operations are inverses and they cancel each other out. So that's going to leave us with yet another 8. 8, 8, and 8. So guess what? All three sides the same. We call that equilateral. Yay! Okay, so that's going to be the final answer to the question. And that, my friends, is how you do that.